to Mode of Cosmic Therapy. How are you doing? I'm doing all I can and twice as much next Sunday. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad Mitzi's here, and I'm glad Emmy's here, and I'm glad Sandy's here, and I'm glad everybody in RTN station is here today. I'm having a great time. I'm just having so much fun I can hardly stand it. I was thinking about just a moment prior to coming on how that if we think we know what we're doing at any time, we're to cease immediately, because that's not the reason we're doing it. Now, I could come up with 1,000, no, I probably couldn't come up with 1,000, that's a blanket statement. We do that all the time, we make those blanket statements. But I could come up with a lot of reasons as to why I'm doing these shows, but I have no idea. The one reason that I am doing, and the only reason that this show is in existence, eludes me. I could not define it if I tried to. And that's the same thing with your life. You have no idea why you're doing what you're doing, when you're doing, to who you're doing. And furthermore, you should not even be concerned with that. Okay, so today's another day. Another day. What are we going to do? You know, I always follow the horse, the mule, going back to the barn, wherever the barn is. I'm going to follow him at the end of a long day's work because he knows where home is. And so that's what I do. And what this show demonstrates, or at least one of the things it demonstrates, is that everything in your life is connected. Connected, perfectly connected. There's not a single solitary event that has ever happened or transpired in your life that was out of order, out of season, or was not supposed to happen, good or bad. We don't like to think that those bad things are destined for us to have to experience, but they are just as important as what we deem as good. And again, how do you know the difference? How do you know the difference? Because all that you can see is this little bitty scope right here in front of you. That's all. Just right here. You know, like all that I can see right now is this board, and of course back here this backdrop and these books and my flowers and some chairs and cameras and Mitzi sitting there, and the window back to the control room, and the walls and the ceiling and the lights and the tables and chairs, and that's all I can see. That's all I can see. And if I based my decisions and my experiences, and I calculated and manipulated my life from this little teeny sphere of influence, I would miss the mark. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. There's so much more. If I open up that door, there's so much more going on 15 feet. If I open up that door, there's so much more going on behind that door. And guess what? You see this wall right here? If you remove this wall and go through it, there's a street out there, busy, with cars and with people that's occupying those cars and going this way and that way. And there's so much that's going on that we don't have any idea. And yet, we assign ourselves to this position in our life, and we say, and conduct our affairs. Boy, did I sound country then. We conduct our affairs. We conduct our affairs from this position. And yet, that's so disabling. We need to expand ourselves. What about if a rose, can y'all see those beautiful flowers? What about if a rose stayed a bud, just tightly entrenched as a bud, and never opened up, never bloomed, never opened up? And yet, the blooms and the beautiful flowering of the rose with the many, many layers, what is the expense? What consequence is going to happen because that rose blooms and opens? It's going to die. Okay? It's going to die. And that's what we fear. Of course, we fear dying. leaving the earth as we think that we die, but we don't die. But anyway, that's another show too. We won't get into that. We may, but right now I'm not going in that direction, I don't think. The horse ain't leading me there. But anyway, getting back to the rose. The rose has got to die. That was the cost of it being a beautiful rose, was to unfold the many layers, to share that fragrance, to be the most beautiful flower that it can be, and then it will fall to the ground and dissolve. But another rose will come, and another rose, and another rose. But in this life, I'm not talking about dying, leaving the earth. I'm talking about our daily deaths. Paul said in the Bible, I die daily. Well, what did he mean? I mean, we take these words so haphazardly, and so nonchalantly. I die daily. Well, it sounds good, for all the ones that want to call themselves Christians. But really, how much time and effort and energy and concentration, dedication and discipline, that ugly word, discipline, do you or I apply to our hours in the day to die out to self? How many? How much of it? Or do we just say, they're pretty words. Like we can read it. I can pick up any book on this table and read some pretty words if you want to hear them. But what good, if there's a good to any of it, or bad to any of it, if we don't apply the discipline necessary to be free? I'm not talking about a discipline so that we can avoid hell and go to heaven and dance on the pearly streets, whatever. I'm talking about being free while you're alive. I'm talking about being at liberty to know that you are, and I am, a marvelous, wonderful creature of divine light. Yeah. Jesus said he was the light in the way, and he also said you are. And he said, greater things will you do than I do, because I'm going away. I'm going back to the Father. He's going back to the head honcho light. We are light. We are light. And in order for light to be light, there must be darkness. Now, in that darkness, we have to experience discipline. We have to experience fear. And we have to experience trepidation. And we have to experience a real slippery, slippery footing. We have to go through that place where we don't know what we're doing, where we're going, if we're going anywhere, if we're going to get anything. We just have to be like the rose. But I'm going to, like I always do, with numerology, I'm going to break down these words. For any of you who have watched me before, disciple. Why am I writing disciple? I was going to write discipline. Good gracious, yes, Father, Mother, Child, God, I am a disciple. We are all disciples. Let's see what that word is, Mitzi, before I go to discipline. Okay, and discipline would come from being a disciple, though. So let's see. D, 9, 3, 9, 7, 3, 5. This is numerology for all of those who have never seen the show before. The vowels are your heart of the word, because we think we know what words mean, but there's so many different meanings held in between, and in between, underneath, on top of words. And these are just a few of them. There's way more meanings in these. All right, we're going to start off with 9 9 is 18 and 5 is 23. How about that? A disciple is free. A disciple lives in liberty. A disciple borders on what the world would call insanity. You know that the scribes and the Pharisees certainly thought Jesus Christ was insane, and at the very least, a dangerous revolutionary. But the heart of disciple is movement. The heart of a disciple is experience. The heart of disciple is having relationships and artistic expression. Now, if your beliefs or your traditions or your ideas have got you molded into some kind of box where you are fearful if you come outside of that box of what you're supposed to do and not do, then you're not being a disciple. A disciple releases you to be you. It releases you to be I am. You know, when Moses asked God his name, he said, I am that I am. So a disciple releases you and allows you to be that I am. I am grateful. I am mad. I am hungry. I am fat. I am scared. I am happy. The disciple, what are you? I am what? You finish the sentence. I am alive. I am vibrating. I am unaffected by what other people say. I am governed by what people say and think. Okay, so anyway, what do we get? We've got a 23 for the heart. And so what have we got for the personality? We've got a 7, 7, 14. We got a 17. Let's make sure this time if it's going to add up. 7, 7, 14, 17. 17 and 23 is a 40. Okay, but this 17 is the star. All right, the star. So we are in this world. We are in this world, Jesus said. But we're not of it. Okay. Now, taking a lot of liberty, maybe he just meant that we're made of the elements and the minerals and everything that constitute the earth and the stars alike. So we are in this world, but we're not of it because we are really stardust. Well, let's go ahead and get formal. Electromagnetic energy. Energy. We vibrate. We vibrate. Okay, now stay with me, Mitzi. Bring me back if I get too far out because I want to do that vibrate. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Okay, vibrate. 22, 9, 2, 9, 1, 2, 5. So we got a 15 here. Oh, woo. 6 and 5 is 15. You know, that devil, you know, it's lived backwards. So we are vibrating at the rate of that which is contrary to our nature. Now, what did I say, Paula? I said every moment we are facing things and having to overcome them. So in that sense, the devil the adversary becomes our friend. Because what is weak in me, if you show it to me, I might be able to overcome it. Might not too. 24, 33. Let's see if that's right. 22, 24, 33, 35. Okay, and that's an 8. That's the personality of vibrate. And that is strength. So we have the strength to overcome. You know, you hear Christians all the time, my God is able. We are too. We are able to overcome that which insults and assaults us every moment. All right, so we have a 50 as the number of vibrate, which is movement. That is a movement. I mean movement. We are movement. All right, coming back. Let's come back all the way. So we're talking about a disciple. That's what we're talking about. And we're talking about how do we become a disciple. Well, what was it? It was a 40. How do we become a disciple? Well, first of all, we have to have some sort of foundation. Now, this foundation cannot be hearsay, cannot be opinion, cannot be hopes, and aspirations. Because all of these things are to bring more comfort to you and push back pain. So you've got to eliminate all of these to build your foundation. You've got to. I mean, the foundation is actually the core, that nucleus that all the electrons are going all around, you know, all that. So the foundation, let's see what it is for that 40 for the disciple. Yeah.